America's pastime, baseball, the excitement, the crowds, the energy and drama. From Little League to the major leagues, baseball is loved by many across America and around the world. Two of the greatest to ever play the game, Hank Aaron, baseball's all-time home run leader.
They call him the Hammer.
In 23 major league seasons, Aaron hit 755 career homers and drove in 2,297 runs, both records that are still unequaled.
He is quite simply the greatest home run hitter in Major League history, Henry Aaron.
A member of Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame, Hank amassed a .305 lifetime average, was an outstanding fielder, and demonstrated a unique team spirit and sense of fair play in every inning of every game he played.
And they meet right at the mound in Earl
A three-time Cy Young Award winner, Jim Palmer led the Baltimore Orioles to 6 American League and 3 World Series championships. In 19 seasons with the Orioles, he amassed 268 lifetime victories and finished with more than 2,200 strikeouts. In 1990, Jim Palmer became just the second Little League graduate to be elected to the Hall of Fame. Hank Aaron and Jim Palmer, together they thrilled Americans, young and old, for decades. Gave it their all, every game, every day. The epitome of power, grace, and sportsmanship. Now they're devoting some time to a very important project. They're helping Little League Baseball talk to parents about educating their Little Leaguers to the dangers of drug use, discussing what can be done in our neighborhoods and our homes to help keep our young people drug-free, helping them to live healthy lives right from the start. Let's listen in.
And that's the reason Little League developed this drug education program. It's to help prevent our kids from ever getting started with drugs in the first place.
That's right, Jim. There's nothing good about drugs at all. One thing leads to another, and it can get bad real fast.
So what you're saying then is that we need to teach our kids early, right?
Absolutely. Listen to your kids, spend time with them, and encourage them. In the video Little League put together, you'll see what I mean. Friend to Friend, starring Oral Hershiser, was developed by Little League Baseball. It shows what can happen when we pay attention to our young people and help them through the tough times.
It's all in the way you look at things. It's a matter of making the right choices.
Like with drugs?
Yes.
My dad says
In fact, the video has lots of good pointers that can help each of us parents, coaches, or just concerned citizens. The key for all of us is to have time for our young people when they want to talk and encourage them. It pays off.
But what do we say? Sometimes it's hard for us to talk about these kinds of things.
Well, the most important thing, as I've said, is to listen, but have the facts and share them with your kids.
The source for most of our information has been put in this booklet right here, put together by some of the best health experts in the country.
In fact, it's been researched and assembled especially for parents and kids by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Office for Substance Abuse Prevention.
None of us are experts on this subject, but after you read the booklet, you have some solid information to work with. That's why Little League, with the support of Pepsi-Cola Company, thought it was so important to bring you this program.
Well, for example, you really need to know exactly what kinds of drugs there are, how and why drug use can start, and their physical and psychological effects.
And if you want to help prevent drug problems among your family and friends, it's in there too. Things like setting a good example, helping your kids resist peer pressure.
What about situations where you think someone might be using drugs, but you're not sure? We had that happen a couple of months ago in our neighborhood.
The booklet covers that as well, and not only explains the best ways to help, but also talks about things you should avoid doing. Also, it gives you a good list of organizations you can turn to.
Okay, so why do kids get mixed up with drugs? It seems to me there's all kinds of reasons.
That's right. There is no one reason why kids use drugs, but for young people, it's often peer pressure. Kids want to fit in, be cool, remember?
Truth is, there's nothing cool about drugs. Like Hank told us earlier, once you start using them, it can snowball. For young people, it might start with alcohol, tobacco, or even marijuana at first, what the experts call gateway drugs. Chances are even the hard drug users started with these gateway drugs when they were younger.
What about alcohol and marijuana? It seems some kids think they're no big deal, not dangerous. What's the truth?
It is a big deal. To begin with, for Little Leaguers, alcohol is illegal.
That's right, and it's also very deceptive. Whether it's beer or wine cooler or hard liquor, it's still alcohol, and it can begin a pattern of drug use and a dependency on chemicals.
And we all know what the consequences of drinking and driving can be.
Marijuana can also be very harmful. It can cause brain damage, increase heart rates and blood pressure, and lapse of memory. Research shows it's much stronger, more dangerous these days than it was in the 60s.
What about cocaine? You hear a lot of horror stories.
Very, very addictive and potentially deadly. It's that simple.
Most of us here will remember a situation we had at school last year when one boy began to cut more and more classes. His parents said he went through a real personality change. Turned out their suspicions were right. He was using drugs. Is there anything else we can look for?
Skipping school and mood changes are the most common. Also temper problems and money. Often they'll be asking for more and more.
That's right. The boy he was referring to started stealing money, jewelry, other personal things from the house. Got pretty bad.
Exactly. Also, people using drugs can be very secretive about things. Others suddenly spend time with a new crowd and won't talk about it.
Now, I highly advise you to read the book, but above all, use common sense and pay attention to what your kids are doing.
Earlier, you told us to avoid saying and doing certain things.
Yeah, it's so easy to fly off the handle, to start judging people, especially kids, if you suspect drugs.
If somebody comes to you with a drug problem, listen. Be patient. Offer to help. Make sure they know they can turn to you when they have a problem.
Don't accuse them of being a bad person, and don't cover up or make excuses for them either. And don't take over their responsibilities or let them make you feel like it's your fault.
Instead, listen. Talk it out. You know, just be there. That kind of attitude go a long ways. And then help them get the help they need.
I'm thrilled Little League has taken the time to help us understand this problem, but if something should happen, where can we get help?
A lot of places offer help, and many of these are listed in the booklet. Also, check your phone book. Look for a hospital in the phone directory under alcohol.
The booklet also lists addresses and phone numbers for state agencies across the country that can help. And your doctor can help too.
You talk about setting a good example, and it sounds so easy. But even kids from a good family can mess up.
That's true. Any child can mess up with drugs. That makes it even more important for each of us to do the very best we can.
And doing our best starts with setting a good example at home. How do you live your life? Tell your kids the truth about drugs.
Give them the fact. Listen and be supportive of your kids if they come to you with a problem.
You know, it sounds a lot like coaching. You help a kid develop a healthy self-image. You praise effort as well as accomplishment. And you try not to make criticism so personal.
That's right. And help your child say no too. Explain that saying no is the strong thing to do, the right thing. It might be hard at first, but it gets easier.
You know, the reason we're asking you to help, you Little League parents, is because we know you can help. We know you're all busy. When I was in Little League, our parents and coaches had a lot going on too, but they always seemed to have time for us. That's why we're asking Little League volunteers from around the country to step up to the plate, because we know you can do it.
We have to do this. These are our kids.
Someone once said that if you want something done, ask the busiest person around. That's why we're asking all of you.
And you know what? I think you'll be surprised at just how easy it is to be friends with your kids. Encourage healthy, creative activities to keep your kids busy.
Help them have fun. And if you do find out that someone close to you is considering drugs, don't fly off the handle. Listen to them, but be firm and do everything in your power to get them help.
Now let's take a look at that video. Orel Hershiser is waiting to have a word with us. We can talk again later, and make sure that you take one of those booklets before you leave tonight.
You know, I never did get a chance to hit against this guy, Hershiser.
And you know, I know Orel was very grateful about that. Right in the dugout, guys. Let's go.
That wasn't so bad.
Come on, I'll give you a ride home.
I'd rather walk. Tough game, Jimmy, wait up. Sorry, I blew it. It happens. It's not the end of the world. So you're not gonna play for the Dodgers yet? You know what I do when I have a bad day? I just feel lousy, just like you. Oh, thanks. Come on, think positive. We'll get him next time. Yeah, next time.
Hi, guys. So what happened to you?
Layoff, okay?
Aren't we sensitive? So the kid blew it. What's the big deal?
Why don't you mind your own business?
Hey, it's not the end of the world.
That's what I said.
Look, just go with the flow. You know what I do when I get uptight?
That's not a good answer to losing a baseball game or anything else.
What do you know? It mellows you out, especially when you've had a rough day.
Using drugs is stupid and dangerous.
Don't knock it if you haven't tried it.
You don't have to try everything. That's right.
You're just afraid. You can't believe everything you hear. You gotta grow up and find out for yourself.
You gonna jump off the roof to see if you can fly? I gotta get home. Me too. You gonna be alright? Sure. Cool it, okay?
Sure, kid.
Hang in there. Take care. See you tomorrow morning at practice. Yeah. Oh, gotta be going.
Hey, your friends are nice kids, but a little immature. There's nothing wrong with drugs, and everybody's doing them.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing them.
And it's time you did.
Yeah, but drugs are no good for you.
If it wasn't good for you, do you think there'd be so many people doing them? You know why they do it? Because they like it. It helps them relax and have fun. You just gotta be man enough to start.
And once you start...
You can't stop? That's a fairy tale. Look, I can stop whenever I want to. Here, take this and try it when you're alone.
It wasn't so bad. It's not the end of the world.
There's nothing wrong with drugs, and everybody's doing them. You just gotta be man enough to start.
Dan, you know, he just didn't seem to be himself out there today.
He'll be all right. It's tough losing the ball game by 1 run. Hey, champ.
Hi, honey. You want a snack?
No, thanks, Mom. I'm not hungry.
Oh, I made some of your favorite cookies today.
No, thanks.
Not feeling so hot, huh?
No.
You want to talk about it?
I just want to go to my room, okay?
You know, it was a good game.
Dan, he seems to be taking this loss very hard.
Yeah, he really seems upset.
Why don't you go upstairs and see if you can talk to him?
All right, let's see if I can find out what's wrong. May I come in?
Yeah.
You've had better days, haven't you, son?
Yeah.
It was pretty lousy, huh?
I lost the game.
And what do you think happened?
I don't know. I just couldn't get the ball where I wanted. I was distracted by the runner on third.
Case of nerves?
That too, I guess. I feel like I let everybody down.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Nobody's perfect.
You know, Dad, it's tough doing what's right all the time.
Well, Jimmy, baseball.
Not just baseball, Dad. Other things.
Like what?
You know, problems. Stuff that comes up in everyday life.
Well, things like what? Give me an example.
Well, I've got this friend, and he's been offered drugs. He doesn't know what to do.
Well, that's a very serious problem. What kind of drugs was he offered?
Marijuana. I don't know what to tell him.
Well, has your friend tried it yet?
No, someone just offered him the joint, and he asked me for advice.
Well, I'm glad he hasn't tried it. And the best way to avoid problems with drugs is not to start.
But it's only marijuana. He says it can't hurt you.
That's not true, Jimmy. There's no such thing as a good or safe drug. You know, marijuana can affect your memory, the way you think about things, your judgment, and even how your muscles work. And they start with marijuana, but after a while, your body and your mind start craving stronger and more dangerous drugs. You start thinking you can't handle life without them. And suddenly, your life's out of control. And when your life's out of control, you can lose a lot more than just a baseball game. You can lose your friends, your health, and even your life.
But what if someone offers you drugs? I mean, you don't want to look chicken or stupid.
Well, you're right. Sometimes it is hard to say no. It takes courage and a little practice.
Tell your friend just to have confidence. Stand tall and just say he's not interested. And remind him that he's an individual and he has the right to a life free of drugs. I hope you'll talk to your friend before he smokes that joint.
I'll tell him what you said.
Hey, I found a magazine article about Oral Hershiser. Thought you might want to look at it.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
I'm going to go see what Mom's doing. Tomorrow's another day.
Okay, Dad.
All right, I'll catch you later. Get some rest. Hi, Jimmy.
Oral Hershiser?
Yeah.
The Oral Hershiser?
Yeah? Oh, I see you're in Little League.
Yeah,
That's how I got my start. Well, how's it been going?
not so good.
What do you mean, not so good?
No, I mean, I lost the game.
What do you think went wrong?
I couldn't get the ball where I wanted it.
Well, what do you think was the problem?
I don't know. The pitches were coming in too high.
You're probably letting go of the ball too quickly. Hold on to the ball just a split second longer, like this.
You know, I never had this problem before. It was probably the pressure. Yeah, that's what got to me. I mean, you're always so cool. How do you do it?
It's not easy, believe me.
I feel so bad. I let everybody down.
It's one thing to play hard, but if you make mistakes and lose, you can't be so hard on yourself.
Right. That's because you're Oral Hershiser.
Whoa, wait a minute. I've lost my share of games, and I've given up a lot of runs. I had to learn the same thing that you're learning right now.
Really?
Yeah, I used to get really upset when I made mistakes. In fact, I learned one of the most important lessons in my life when I was in Little League. One day my dad took me aside and said, "Don't think about the things that you've done bad. Try and learn from your mistakes so you can do better the next time. It's all in the way you look at things. It's a matter of making the right choices."
Like with drugs?
Yes.
My dad says that marijuana's no good for you. He says it can lead to other drugs.
He's right, Jimmy.
It's not always easy saying no, especially to friends.
You're right, but you know what? If your friends want you to use drugs, they're not really your friends. Friends look out for each other. They don't hurt one another. Drugs are bad, and they can kill. Sometimes you just have to walk away from those situations and those so-called friends.
Yeah, but then they think you're chicken when you do that.
You have to be strong to say no. The weak ones, those are the ones who can't say no. They're the chickens. The more often you say no to drugs, the stronger you get. And when you say it often enough, people will stop bothering you. You'll make it easier for people around you to say no to.
Man, you gotta know a lot of stuff to get as old as you are.
Well, Jimmy, I'm not that old.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean that you're as old as my parents are.
Don't worry about it. I know what you mean. I think. But you're right. Growing up isn't easy. And that's what Little League is all about. It's not about winning. It's about growing up. It's about trying your best and getting along with others. Growing up is about making decisions. Every time you pitch or hit, you make a decision. Every day you're faced with decisions. The point is to learn to make the right ones. And using drugs is a bad choice. Drugs don't solve problems. They just create bigger ones. You just have to say no to drugs right away. That's what a friend would tell a friend. And that's why I'm telling you, friend to friend.
I'm not even gonna try drugs.
Good choice. Hey, talking about choices, what's more important? Winning or the way we play the game?
Well, I really don't like losing.
I don't either. But things don't always go our way, do they?
No.
You can't always control the outcome of the game, Jimmy. But you can always have control over your attitude and the way you face things. That way, even when you lose, you can still be a winner. And that's the kind of winner I want you to be, right?
I know it's not gonna be easy, but I'll do my best.
Good. And one more thing. Don't be afraid to ask someone you love and trust for help. When you get a chance, tell your father the decision you've made. I'm sure he'll be proud of you.
Okay, I promise. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi, son.
practice.
I can't. I want to get over to the park.
Oh, you've got time to practice.
I want to get to practice.
Looks like you're all ready for today, huh?
Yeah, I got some great ideas from Oral Hershiser.
Oh, you read the article?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Dad, thanks for the advice. It's going to be a big help.
Good.
We'll pick you up later.
Have fun.
Hi.
Hey, so wasn't it cool?
I didn't try it. I flushed it down the toilet.
What'd you do that for?
Because that's where it belongs. It's not good for you either.
You're a loser.
No, Brad. Losing a baseball game doesn't make me a loser. I'm a winner. And I want you to be a winner, too.
What'd you do? Go home and talk to Daddy?
Brad, if you weren't my friend, I wouldn't even bother.
Well, don't.
I will bother, because you are my friend. And I'm telling you, friend to friend.
How you doing?
Great. You okay? Couldn't be better.
There you go.
So let's play ball.
Come on, let's get warmed up.
Hey, this is an official National League ball. And it's got Oral Hershiser's autograph on it. What? Where'd you get this? It's a long story. I'll tell you later. Come on, let's play, okay? Hey!
That's what Little League is all about. It's not about winning. It's about growing up. It's about trying your best and getting along with others.